Hello, my dear blessed ones. It's such a fun to come and communicate and share with you. That's how we all get our sukha, is putting and extending our hands out to others. You know, the old saying, if you give, you get. And so it's a good thing. Putting up a video, it's really addressed to Brian Clements, the Hippocrates, and to all those interested in the fruit sugars. One must understand that in our intellectual community, we have serious problems. Our academics are wild. I'll give an example. Let's say, I don't know how far back we go, but remember when it was considered the world was flat? And it was the scientific thought of the day, actually. And you got chastised or imprisoned if you disagreed with that. So in our scientific community, through the generations, we've built a certain, I don't know what you want to say, power struggle, or I don't know. We pay a lot for academically inclined people over those that use their brute strength. A ditch digger can make $15 an hour, and the supervisor telling him how to do it makes $30. So you see that all over the place here. The problem with academics is without the consciousness behind it, without the awareness behind it, it traps you into mind games, mind thinking. And so you become a mind writer. That's all you do is write on waves of thought. And then when it comes to common sense and greater awareness, you can't have it because you're lost in thought. You have to wake up from that. That's kind of what spirituality is. It's a waking up process from thinking. And then you find freedom because your consciousness isn't trapped in thought processes. Remember, your mind comes out of the little individual minds that we all have, comes out of a universal mind, a big mind, and that's called the mental worlds. Holmes wrote a lot about the universal mind, his experiences. The universal mind, of course, is the seat of cosmic consciousness, Christ consciousness, that sort of thing. It is where when you start pulling back your attention from your bodies and you get to the pure mental worlds where the pure mind is, you have that in you. It's extremely nirvanic. But it's where you begin to see the oneness of all things. That's where you begin to see the individual dualities starting to come together as one again. And if you're out there playing in the fields of dreams and you're playing in duality, it's hard to understand that all things come from the one. And everyone has all the chemistry and physics and everything that everything else does. Different arrangements. But it's so interesting when you pull back and you look at it that way, that our minds are just little pieces of a universal mind, and we can get to the universal mind and send thoughts all over the place. Because remember we talked about the Wright brothers flying their airplane at the same time, Jensen, whatever his name is, in Europe, flew his. So these two different sets of individuals were thinking similarly, because we're all products of the same things, actually. Thoughts are thoughts. So don't claim your thoughts. You got negative thoughts coming in on you, send them back. You don't need them. That's why you always want to be the watcher of your mind. And you can't be the watcher of your thoughts if you're busy thinking. So in a sense, relax and pull back a little bit. And even when you view these videos, just relax and soak it in. Mahesh is one lovely soul who's definitely found his way to God. He writes these beautiful poems about the oneness of all things. And so he wrote another good one here. Just beautiful stuff, Mahesh. Just really beautiful. And it shows that you have connected into the one. From the dual consciousness to the single consciousness again, or what they say, the dual reality into the single reality. But beautiful, beautiful poem here of the oneness of life and of God. Good job, Mahesh. And that's just all of us just fall into that and claim your beauty, claim your love, your joy back, claim your happiness back, guys. This is a tough world, but it's a world where you must realize you're the one that has to either be happy or sad. It's all about you. And it's your perception of things. If things are just coming down on you, just let it all go. Don't follow everything you created. Let it go. Step back from everything and get yourself free from the things of creation, all the emotions and thoughts and things like this, and spend some time in the present moment, just enjoying the now, the beauty of whatever you are, wherever you are, and whoever you're with. We've got a lot of questions here, guys, a lot of them, so I'm going to try to take off and get some of these done. I'm not supposed to tell you, but we do have a new formula that's in. We just tried it. We don't have them all in yet. We just got a sample, but they're on their way. We only have 300 bottles. And I'll give you a hint. It's for your mamas and their new little babies. Tastes good, incredible, mainly fruits and berries, but a real powerful blend, and it will grow our babies big and strong. So it's good stuff. I'm excited to let you know when it'll be available anytime. We got to make the labels. We have no labels for it, so it'll be a week or two easy yet before we let that one go out. But I'm so excited. 5 years in the making. Oh, whew. It's getting everything, getting all the organic material and the fruits, and getting all that material and prepared and ready for use. And it's a big deal putting that one together. Email when filmed. Okay. Hi, sent variants of a message around to some wonderful people. Sites. Let me see here. Hi, I hope it's okay to contact you. I'm writing on behalf of Alison Bell. Oh, Alison Bell. She's 32 years young. She lives in the UK and is seriously ill and predominantly bedridden with an acquired neurological disease. Okay. So immediately when your nervous system is in the tank, you've got to stop everything you're doing and work yourself to fruits, berries, and melons. Number one, uno, and there is no compromising on that. And that's you too, Steve, out there. You got to get fruits, berries, and melons, no veggies. That's for MS, Parkinson's, Lou Gehrig's, anything, Bell's palsy, I don't care what. You have to get up on these high energetic, high chemical foods, or it's hard to get anywhere. I've said this many, many times. You cannot regenerate neurotissue and get rid of neurotoxins with vegetables. Just ain't gonna work. And we can argue this thing on fruits all day long, but in reality, fruits are the king of foods on this planet. And whether others want to recognize it or not, this is why the Hippocrates, in my opinion, has a very low rate of helping those with diagnosed in the medical world with cancers, meaning their lymph systems are stagnant, and they either have tumors or their cells are getting chewed on by their own acids. And you have to reverse that. And this is why a lot of places like that are not winning the day, because they're fighting the concept of fruit. And it's like you're fighting the concept of fruit. Only from an intellectual viewpoint, not from a God viewpoint, because fruit is the king of foods out there. And you're seeing more and more supplements made with it. More and more people are getting on the fruits. Say this, though. Unripe fruit is acidic. You need to get it ripe. That is an issue. So if you're sucking down all unripe fruit, you might not have a favorable experience with that, of course. But fruit is very powerful. Fruit sugar, very powerful. Much more energetic than glucose. Fructose is much more energetic. So therefore you see a big energetic difference, and you see a detoxification difference. They're faster to hydrate the body. I could just go on and on and on about the benefits of fruits. And of course we have a lot of people that enjoy the benefits of fruits. Very few humans, when you get up into the higher levels, enjoy salads all the time when you can have these delicious fruits. Anybody that thinks fructose is bad for you just isn't rocking up here somewhere, because that's ridiculous. There's only 3 simple sugars of nature, and those are our babies. So I don't know where people rock with that, but it's like got to grow up from that sort of thinking. And sometimes people get so academically ridiculous that they believe in these stupid studies that are ridiculous. Like throwing fruit sugar into a tumor and it grew, or some kind of bull crap like that, or something. What are you talking about? A tumor is not what's cancerous anyway, right? What is a tumor? See, a lot of people have got, even the Hippocrates, they have these cancer words and they have these words, and it's like, diseases, guys, are totally man-made. This is totally a concept of allopathic thinking. It's infiltrated everybody's thinking, though, so everything is seen in the context of diseases. You have to change that context and look at everything as cause and effect. Chemistry is very, very, very real. And depends what side of chemistry you want to hold on to. Depends your experience. It's like electricity. It seems what level do you want to hold on to? And some levels of electricity won't let you go. Woo! So, first thing and foremost is this dear soul has to move herself to grapes, mangoes, whatever you can get her, into the organic, much as organic as possible. Fruits, and berries, and she can have some melons. Wash the pesticides off. These are neurotoxins. So you could be eating in a restaurant, eating a big old salad, thinking you're eating healthy, and you start getting a shortness of breath or an anxiety attack. You just ate a bunch of pesticides. It's just the way this country rocks right now. In December 14th, she caught a bad staph infection. It went undiagnosed till September 2015. Now, we all have staph and strep in us, guys. So what did she really have? Lymphatic problems, big time. That's why the staph and strep in the first place. You don't have staph and strep and E. coli and all these things. It just all depends on the type of food you're eating. There's bacteria for every level, every type of chemistry out there. There's bacteria for iron. So her lymph system has been having a problem for a long time, hasn't it? Because what system deals with the acids? All right? The nervous system is an electrical department. It deals with neurotransmitters. Your lymphatic system deals with the removal or acids of the body, metabolitic acids, or it doesn't remove them. So again, important. Now, and also went systemic. Well, again, systemic simply means she's systemically involved lymphatically. That's how anything goes systemic, because you already have that systemic stagnation. That's exactly why. Things don't spread as a rule in that way. You have, unless it goes through the blood. From then she had topical steroids to help the severe dermatitis. So see how she's already drawing a picture of heavy lymphatic problems? Severe dermatitis. See how she's already having symptoms of extreme lymph stagnation? And she went on steroids for this. When you go on steroids, then you start shutting down whatever steroids you're making. And of course you're going to bump the neurotransmitters with it. So that means your blood pressure is going to go down, all your corticosteroids are going to go down. Now you can't fight even where you couldn't fight before, you can fight even worse. It just gets worse and worse and worse. The infection caused and was told to us then continuously, which she did for several months. That didn't make sense. Anyway, unfortunately she had the whole stop them and it gets much worse cycle thing, which her dermatologist said meant she wasn't ready to stop them yet, so continued. So let me guess what that says. That when she has her periods, her estrogen levels go up, she has a more severe reaction. Well, think about why that is. One side of chemistry is estrogen and testosterone on. Base, acid. Acids. They're acidic. Absolutely. But they're minor acids. And remember, minor acids are stimulants. They get things going. They can create moisture. They can create all kinds of things. Remember, when a woman is low estrogen, she has vaginal dryness. So all acids aren't bad. But your metabolitic waste, those are down around 3 pH. That's a little more gnarly, where estrogen, no one's ever been able to supply me with a pH of estrogen. But I'm guessing at least 4.5. If you get any two more alkaline, it's going to have not the bump of an acid, and if you get 2 more acidic, it's going to really rip. But when you're acidic and your lymph system is backed up and you're acidic, and then you add estrogen or testosterone dominance on top of that, now it's acid on top of acid. Now you get to see on the favorable side of what chemo does. In other words, when you mix testosterone and estrogen into an acidic medium, you're adding more base type elements into it. In other words, it's not near as acidic. If you add chemotherapy, you're way down on the acid side. You're below the acids that's causing the problems. When estrogen, testosterone is above the acids that are causing the problems. See what I'm trying to explain? So chemo just flatly burns you out. Whatever's left, if you survive it, we did you a good trip. Did we really? So that sort of thing. Everything else she tried over the whole time eventually made her skin worse. She does nothing but try to treat what she and the dermatologist did not understand. And therefore, when you treat something like that, obviously there's no remedy or cure to that, because you're not fixing the cause of the problem. You're ignoring that and focusing in on the treatment. You're trying to treat the acid or the inflammation thereof, and you can't do that. You just can't. How do you treat acidosis? There's only one way. If you're going to treat it, there's only one way, right? And that's with the base side of chemistry. Medical doctors, the pharmaceutical companies need to come with a high alkaline chemotherapy. Some oncologists told me that they were working on that. So we'll see. That means they're quite aware that acids are destroying everybody. That's what that means. She tried everything. It seems simply having any cream, lotion, oil on her skin is just too much for it, regardless of the ingredients. And you know why? That's like having a full cup of tea or coffee or whatever and trying to put more in it. Her lymph system's already full. It's already stagnant. Because you got to remember, when you put lotions on the body, you got two fluids that this can go into. Mostly the interstitial, which is the blood and lymph fluids. The only two fluids of the body except for H2O. Well, her lymph system is already full. So it can't handle it anymore. It makes it even look worse because she's full. And when your cup is full, you got to empty the cup. And the kidneys are the key here, guys. The kidneys and the adrenal glands, the whole key. But she's hurting her adrenal glands even more by taking the steroids to buy. It's a cat chasing its tail. On, around, and around, and around, and here we go again. But at the same time, the patient's getting worse and worse and worse, and the lymph is biting her back more and more and more until now we start popping basal squamouses and things like that. So in her research, she found zero therapy. She's been doing it, and it's very clear that the condition before the steroid cream and after is completely different. All right? This has led her to wonder about steroid withdrawal symptom, and she found you. That's nice, and that is true. Steroid withdrawal symptoms, particularly when you already have weak adrenals, and you can't have a skin condition without having weak adrenals. It's impossible. Same thing with kidneys. You can't have a bad skin condition without having kidney and adrenal problems. There's just no way. Those are, and thyroid. Because if you can't get your basal temperatures up in the mid to upper 97s, how do you open up that skin channel? Because sweating is a key component to elimination of waste. Remember, you get gases and other escaping chemistry out of you. Firstly, she wants to send you hug love. I'll take a hug love. I like hug love, and I'll send one back to you. Absolutely. As well as gratitude for putting your story out there in order to help others. Thank you, sweetheart. She does the same with her neurological disease. All right, so let's fix you up. Let's get this done. All right, you've suffered long enough, it's obvious. Let's get this done. So to get it done, you're going to have to step up. And I'll have to tell you that you're probably going to see some more skin problems at first. Because when you start going on fruits, berries, and melons, they start opening up the doors. They start opening up kidney filtration. They start astringing and hydrating more than vegetables by far. So you've got two actions, astringe and hydration. Vegetables can hydrate you, green juices and stuff a little bit. Nothing like the water fruits and stuff. They're king of the hill in hydration. So, I mean, this is all. So you have to go that route, and you have to be on the fruits, berries, and melons for the neurological weakness. Don't call it a disease, because then you'll be trapped with that concept and think there's nothing you can do about it, because no one cures diseases out there because they don't exist. When you have a neurological weakness, you can fix that. You can rebuild tissue. That's the importance to understanding this level of thinking, is that you don't have to sit there and say, I'm done. No, nobody's done. No. So let's go after that. Going after the neurological will take care of the skin easy. That skin is your easier one. It's the neurological one that's your toughest one, because there's a lot of issues to deal with that. So we want to go after, of course, we want to go after the adrenal glands, because we're after more steroids, aren't we? We want more steroids, but we want kidney filtration. So you're going after your adrenals, you're going after your kidneys. Obviously, you're going to go after your skin, but that's a part of the whole detox itself. Highly recommend you go on the 14-week protocol, but you have to be on fruits, berries, and melons. Get your diet up that high, and then you can reverse this genetics or this weakness within the nervous system here. Second, if I attach some pictures of how it's been since the withdrawal, could you take a look and see if you think they fit the withdrawal theory? Well, yeah, but when you come off of steroids, any of you guys, you want to back that up with an adrenal gland formula, because it's your adrenal glands that produces your steroids in the body. And you want to go after those adrenal glands. You don't want to just stop taking your steroids when you're not even well yet and the weakness and everything's still there. That's why they put them on you in the first place. So the first thing you want to do is back your system up. You want to go after, change your diet. So now you're on a hydrating, base-dominant, highly energetic, highly rebuilding diet. Fruits, berries, and melons. Second of all, you're going after the botanicals. You're going after your adrenals. You're going after your kidneys, the doorway of the lymph, as well as the skin. Remember, your skin's the doorway of the lymph system, as is the 2 kidneys, or 3, or 1, whichever you have. So you have to get that skin opened up, and when you do, it could look a little worse, because you need to open this skin up, hot and cold. Get yourself in salt water, do some salt water baths, hot and cold, because you're going to go up and down. That skin's going to go up and down for a while until you get past a certain point. You get those kidneys filtering. Remember, pee in a jar and look at it. If you get those kidneys filtering, it'll take a burden off the skin, but you got to get your kidneys filtering. That's why the skin is wearing your burden right now. And it's not, it can only hold up so much, because you're breaking down skin cells. And that's just like causes cancer like any other cell breaking down, remember? Cells, when they are damaged, they can tend to call it, instead of atypical or damaged mutated, they call it a cancer cell. Fits in their little stories of that. But it doesn't matter. You want to go on adrenal. I'd go on adrenal 400 glandular for at least a month or two to back up that steroid you were on. At the same time, then, you want to get in the endocrine gland formula. You want to go into the brain and nerve, upper circulation. You want to go after this issue. If you have this much problem, you need to hook with a counselor here. At least for a month or two, and get fed what you need, and get your feet planted on the path that you need, and then pretty much you guys are learning how to do it on your own. But if you hook up with a counselor for a month or two, at least they'll help you get your feet on the path, honey, and you'll understand more. I'll happily supply any further info, etc. If Alison can't. Blood work. Wouldn't mind some blood work, picture of her eyes, and get her hooked to one of these counselors here. I work with all of them, guys. But it would be nice to see her blood work. Be nice to see her a picture of her irises, and fill out a questionnaire so we can see what all symptomology she has. But the eyes tell it all. She also has many other symptoms that accompany her facial condition, including heart palpitations. Facial condition, yeah, you have to send all that in, because she could be down for a pituitary, which would be down in the parathyroid. Then you're talking about connective tissue and all kinds of things, depressions and all kinds of calcium-related issues, heart palpitations and the like. She has headaches, sore throats, so she's full of mucus in the head, full of mucus in the throat, nausea, so it's all in her gut, temperature swings. Well, again, thyroid. You've got a lot of it. She's got a lot of inflammation in her body. And another word for inflammation is acidosis. So she's got a stagnant lymph, and you're seeing that in the skin. You're seeing that in the form of acidosis, in the form of all these things that you see. All these things are very curable, guys. All these things are very curable. Watery diarrhea, sporadic purple cheek, etc. If you're okay with this, please pop us an email via Alison's address, and I'll forward you the pics. Let me make a little note to Chris here. Have him give it back, and then we'll take off once we get this posted. Okay, I got that for Chris. He'll pick that up, and we'll get you on going there. Oh, okay. Who is this? Hi, Valerie. I sent Dr. Morris a question a few months ago, but it must have been misplaced. Yeah, I mean, it could be in this pile. Could be in this pile. It's getting down there. But then I just got this pile. So it could be in there. So keep trying, guys. If you don't get me, you keep trying. This is Thomas. Oh, hi, Thomas. I've had a plateau of pleural of health problems over the years, especially for a 22-year-old. But you know what, Thomas? It kind of fits in what I see too. If you're 30 years or younger, boy, and you don't have health problems, you might want to eat healthy and get your body in shape so you don't, because I'll tell you, the genetics are hitting you guys like crazy, and my heart goes out to you guys because it's hitting you hard. And just imagine the younger ones, the babies, the infants. This is why we're in a hell of a mess in our health issues, and we just got to turn all this around, and we can turn this all around. We can turn it all around. We have to be willing to change our consciousness. Can't be riding the same mental thoughts that are taking us down toward Hellville. You got to get on mental thoughts that take you to Wellville. I mean, it's all duality. Or you can pull back and not mind chase at all and start enjoying life from a much higher level. Much. Now, this is Thomas has been suffering here. Oh, look at this. Most pressing at this time are depression and anxiety. So we have the twins. Depression, anxiety. The twins, because they're from two different locations, remember? Depression, parathyroid, calcium problems. All right? Now, here's the problem with this one, parathyroid. Is it a pituitary suppressing parathyroid? Don't get confused with this, because we only have one other gland to talk about. You've got three, even though there's four parathyroids. You've got basically three types of glands here. You've got thyroid, parathyroid, and pituitary. Well, you got a penile in there. I mean, it's all around this general area. But the pituitary controls these two and everybody else. So if these two are down, your thyroid and parathyroids are down. Are they down because they're just full of mucus? Are they down because the lymph is stagnant and you're getting polyps and inflammation? A lot of times that'll speed that up, and you'll see a little goiter, and you'll start to see hyperthyroidism, or it can go the other way, hypo. It'll always go hypo. You know, we talked about Mick, Fleetwood Mac's drummer. You know, growing up, these guys, I love these guys, but they were in the studio all the time, and Mick was a really wiry guy. Hyperthyroidism, if you look at him. Now it's hypo. It's bigger Mick. So it's just that sort of thing. Everything goes from stimulation down toward innervation, down to Hellville and death. You know, and that falls under the acid sky almost every single time. So let's look at this. He's got testosterone deficiency. So I would totally, this is where the youth is today. It's a sad thing. So what's going to help this? Okay, so depression. You're going to think about the thyroid, parathyroid, maybe the pituitary. What can settle this question? Maybe blood, but more than that, a picture of your eyes. Picture of your eyes, Thomas, will settle whether you have a pituitary influence on that or not. The blood work, correlating with the blood work, could, looking at TSH, could. Now, he has testosterone deficiency, and then the adrenal glands play a role in that, along with the prostate. Well, if you've got anxiety, then that tells me you have kidney as well, because that's the adrenals. Then you got kidney, and to have a kidney, then there goes the prostate or ovaries or uterus. Those are the first things to get. Women get ovarian cysts, uterine fibroids, endometriosis. Males get a hypertrophy of the prostate, the enlargement of the prostate, or testicles. Or cysts, and that same thing. So he has penile fracture, crushed T12 spine from powerlifting. Wow. So you're parathyroid, baby, and you are going to want to fix this. It's really important to fix the parathyroid. The question is, are we also bumping uglies? I guess that's, in my day, that meant something else, I guess. But you're bumping with the pituitary gland. We need to find that out, because that's important to how you give yourself a protocol. If you're going to give yourself a protocol with the pituitary, I would add a pituitary herbal, and I would add a parathyroid glandular hooked with a bones formula. Because you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to build your calcium. You're going to want to build your connective tissue and skeletal tissue. Rebuild your vertebrae and everything else. That's on the anxiety side. That's the adrenal glands, the emotional anxiety side. That's actually tied to your stomach and breathing. Notice anxieties and how that is? Yes, and that is vital. Remember, your adrenals produces the neurotransmitters, which are neural means neurological transmitters. So you notice when your nervous system's down, first thing you're going to think, oh, look, my neurotransmitters that transmits energy across the myelin sheath is down. And what gland am I going to go to? I'm going to go to the adrenal glands, and that's true in all neurological conditions, whether it's Parkinson's, MS, Lou Gehrig's, or any other neurological weakness you might have. It doesn't matter what name you stamp on that. Similar tissues or similar, you only have the same tissues in everybody. He also has breaking teeth. Well, back to the parathyroid and calcium utilization again. And of course, the more acidic you get with the adrenal, the anxiety side, the adrenals being down, and the more dehydrated you get, the more brittle you get. Because in that dehydration, remember, calcium isn't a cation unless it has been ionized. It is a base metal. So what happens is your body leaches that in an acid condition, because that's an antacid. And when it leaches it, then the ionization process can happen, and then you start to see that some degree of hydration happening, but minimal unless you're pounding it through diet and you're opening up the eliminative channels to get this lymph and these metabolitic acids filtering through these channels of skin and kidneys. When you see the skin blowing back, you know you're not filtering. It's not eliminating out of the body. It's stagnant. It's sitting there just chewing on you. Just chewing on you. I'm writing you, let me see. Okay, so he has eczema, of course. Skin peeling, flaking, of course, and smelling all over. That's protein. That's protein. When you can smell yourself, that's protein. And it just shows you, when something's offensive, even sulfurs. I know we got a kind of a communication when I was doing a radio show with some people that like sulfurs, but I consider it a very pungent gas, pretty much saying, get away from me. Let me see. The list goes on, and he's only 22 years old, Thomas. All right, all I can say is, Tom, make life, make health your passion, because it's fun, you'll feel good, and you will climb in the awareness scale, and your life will just be more fun, more happy, no matter what happens. That's what you need. But fix these problems. You're only 22, and my God, before you have babies, my dear man, because you're going to pass these genetics on. And imagine, you're already suffering from quite a bit. Can you imagine what your offspring could step from? Oh, it's a nightmare of what's going on here. And no one's been paying any attention or thinking in these levels. They're chasing little disease pathways that don't exist. Holy moly. I'm writing you hoping you can tell me how to most aggressively attack my issues besides water and dry fasting due to my inability to cope emotionally while attempting to do so at this time. I bet. Well, you know, the one thing emotionally, life's sweet, so go to the fruits and the berries, man, because you're going to have to get up there. Because my guess is you might have even nerve rings in your eyes with this. That's going to be your myelin sheaths. So you want to head on with fruits, berries, and melons anyway. And if you guys, even if you only do them for 6 months, okay. 4 months, okay. Enough to get your problems done with. Get yourself done, and you'll be good. Yeah, honey. Go ahead. Excuse me, just 1 second.
What's that say right there?
Oh. From the light of God.
The light, okay.
The light of God, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Let me see. I'm grape fasting every chance I get, and I love it. Perfect idea. Now, we call that fasting, but actually, you're eating incredible food. Grape is one of the most nutritious, the best food on the planet. I mean, everybody loves the grape at one level or another, from the wines to jellies to all kinds of things. Welch's grape jelly. But it's enough to say, good man, get yourself 100% raw at the very least. Okay, because there's a difference between all raw and 90-10. There's a big difference. When you're 100% raw, and you're raw, try this. Try a week. For you guys that have not done this, try a week of all raw. Nothing cooked, just salads, fruits, berries, melons. All raw, 1 week. Then go out and have yourself a meal of whatever you're used to eating that's cooked. And see how you feel. You tell me how you feel. You know, the proof's in the pudding, as they used to say where I come from. But you're doing good, man. I get, and I love it, but I want to detoxify as rapidly as I can. Well, that's about as fast as you want to go. I know you want to go faster, but that's about as fast. Add the herbs for it. You want to, you know, at your age, you're going to have to belly up and buy some herbs and maybe a glandular to deal with this parathyroid and maybe even the pituitary adrenals. You really want to go after these because the glands are everything. Those are the rulers, and when they're down, everybody else is going to go down. And you're only 22 years old, so you want to get the glands back in shape. And the glands love consciousness. I mean, that's what turns everything on is awareness. That's energy, consciousness, vibration, spirit, life force, prana, all the things that you know to hook to that which is powerful. That's what you're looking for. When you cook your food, you destroy all this. Everything leaves. You start bonding and killing and everything else. So you want 100% raw, and then start going after. That's when your body can remember the cells genetically, when you're up at those levels, because the consciousness that you're giving those cells is enough to lift them up out of their slumber. This is all about consciousness and states of consciousness. And it's hard to explain that over the camera here. We have to have a real spiritual video one of these days, and I'll have to get into that a lot more. Understanding consciousness and it's how that's perceived in materiality and in duality. Let me see here. Oh, I've saved thousands of dollars for herbs and glandulars and have had some decent filtration for a few days after 4 months on all fruit. And 10 weeks of your herbs, adrenal and thyroid glandular. But sadly it stopped. It's now stopped for the most part. What would you suggest herb and glandular wise? Thank you, man. From Australia. Thomas from Australia. Well, if you've already been on those, and what I would do is I would go to the adrenal herbal and hitchhike it, because you're going to end up with low blood pressure. You know that. So you're going to hitchhike it with licorice. I would also do the pituitary and the endocrine gland, all three of those, and go for those about 2 months. At the same time, I pick up a parathyroid glandular, 50 milligrams parathyroid. I would do, since you're having this much trouble, 2-3 times a day is what I would be doing, and I'd hitchhike that with a Bones formula, or the superfood blend with something with high calcium in it, but synergistic calcium. Calcium is not by itself. Calcium is with all its family members. And our superfood blend number 2 is busted. It seems in calcium. So something like that, with that parathyroid glandular. Move to the herbal side for the rest of them. At the same time, 2 kidney formulas, 2 lymphatic for lymphatic for the capsule side, and a lymph node for the liquid side. And I would go down that road with kidneys and the lymph. I'd do a skin formula. That's your liver, gallbladder, herbs and stuff. I do the skin formula with that. If you need to do circulation, things like that. Get a picture of your eyes, Thomas, because that's where the story begins. And then you'll be able to see what you need to work on. If you've got nerve rings, you got to work on the brain and nerve formula. Might not be bad in the future to go brain and nerve and upper circ. Get up in here and regenerate. Because if you got a pituitary sitting up there, you might want to feed it a little more blood with a high oxygen content in it, which is upper circulation, and go after yourself in that way, my man. Need any more help, guys, call in. You know, we got some good staff that'll help you there. This is Mike. Hi, Mike. I noticed a few parasite and candida formulas use diatomaceous earth. I know. They claim it won't hurt human tissue, but will tear parasitic bodies apart. What are your thoughts? Just that. You know, scary. You know, we have a mucosa that's protective and everything, but we don't need to do that. We don't need to use diatomaceous earth. We have so many great things for the gut tissue. Why would we even have to go there? You know, it isn't worth it, because this is, you know, I've had 45 years in this field, and I've seen things come and go a lot through my years, and I've seen things come that seem to be the cat's meow that cause a lot of people some serious, serious problems, and then they disappear. I remember even something as simple as predigested protein. Liquid predigested protein. Oh, I sold the crap out of that in my health food stores. 7 deaths in New York City in the first 2 months of it alone. Sick. But, you know, when you don't know and you're unaware, and that's why the other part of this is spirituality. It's awareness. We have to open up our awareness. We have to become awake. We're sleeping. We're mind chasing. It's all academics, and the problem with academics, it's other people's ideas. Well, you know, don't you want to kind of be a person that goes out and seeks your own experiences and stuff? Claim your own information? Because we're always reading what everybody else did and what their thoughts were. You know, it's like the Kardashian experience. Go out and be your own Kardashian. You know, you be the woman warrior yourselves instead of the Kardashians. You're sitting there and watching the Kardashians doing their rich thing. You know what I'm saying? You each are beautiful souls, and you each have your own journeys to go on. You know, in a way, we each have our own soap operas. All right, and the second part of this is with hydroponics and aeroponics. I am curious if you have any ideas on how the plants get their carbon to build their structures. Air. There is no carbon in mineral water. Any ideas what is happening here? I would say definitely through the air, but there's... you can get carbon. Let me put some attention on that. That's a good question. Let me put some attention on that as well. Because out of the ground you've got, well, yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I'll have to think that one out myself. But how about ocean ponics? We've got ocean ponics down here. And of course you hang from the air. But you talk about normal plants even. But you remember you got photosynthesis, you got all kinds of things that way. So you've got a lot of ways to pull in carbon that way. Photosynthesis probably pull in carbon for sure. You know, to think about it, probably many other ways. But, yeah, I tried the ocean ponics. That's pretty good. Aeroponics, I never heard of aeroponics. That must be a new one out there too, huh? Well, thanks, Mike, for that. Well, I'll look that up myself and see what that is. But there's so many things for candida and stuff. And one has to understand, again, you're not trying to attack and kill a community. You're trying to understand why that community has set up house in yourself, in your physical bodies. And it's easy to understand when you're dealing in carbon problems, which is sugar problems. And that's the side of fungus and the candida and moles and warts and all those. They're more fungi, which is more of the carbon fermentation people, where you've got your proteolytics more involved, like your bacterium, for your proteins and things like that, you know. But There's so much to that world, I don't know. There's so much. I've had limited parasitology. I hear parasitology departments are opening back up again, which is good, because there's a lot of gnarlies out there in this world. But you got to remember, culturing medium. The medium we're producing in our body is a sewage medium. Most people's lymph systems are a mess, meaning that the sewage from your cells are backing up. And of course, where there's sewage, there's microbes. It's a natural phenomena, just like your septic tank. You want them back there, baby. But if you consider them the problem and you go after them with antibiotics, then your problem is never solved. Notice antibiotics doesn't cure anything. And then it just then if it does, it's just suppressing, and then you have it worse the next time. And then worse the next time, and everything is worse and worse and worse, because you've never allowed anything to be eliminated out of the body. You keep trying to kill and treat things in the body. Ugh. Well, that's another one. You know, killing the bacteria and stuff in the lymph system isn't good, because then if the lymph system's stagnant, you've got that to deal with. I mean, it's just all kinds of things one has to deal with thinking about that. This is Rajy. Thank you for reading this. I have a question about supplements. I have what I believe to be a case of intestinal permeability, among other things. Well, I've talked about this before. If you do have any, and the biggest thing is the leaky gut. The problem with that kind of concept, if you have any true leaky gut, that's a death. And that's a serious thing. Remember, I told you I had a case where I had an appointment with this gentleman, and I could smell him. I could smell him over where I'm sitting and where he was sitting, and I'm going, I smell stool. He says, I don't feel good in my belly here. And I called up a surgeon friend of mine. I said, I smell stool, and this guy's having pain in his belly. And he said, get him over here now. So we did. We rushed him over there. No ambulance. We rushed him over there. He rushed him right into surgery. Guy's alive and well, but still, that is a problem. Absorption is and malabsorption is really the issue that we're having here. But it's true, we've got some serious GI tract problems. Oh my God. When you really take a look at this and you go how far back that our field has been preaching this, hundreds of years, you can see what shape we're in now. Horrible shape. I think VE Irons has had their formulas out for 50 years at the very least, if not 75. They're probably more like 75-year-old company. Incredible. It says, do you think it would be a good idea to take L-glutamine? Nope, not at all. Also, maybe coconut for general well-being? Yep, I would say that. Anxiety, depression. Remember, we just talked about that. Anxiety, adrenals, depression, parathyroid gland. They need to be fixed. Because this is just a symptom of a much deeper issue that can exist. Remember, depression is telling you that you're not metabolizing calcium. And when that doesn't happen, a drandra of problems start to happen, from nerve impulse problems to structural problems, connective tissue, skeletal. You can go on and on and on. Were the first things I noticed. I now also have undigested foods, even melons. All right, so what tissues, what organ digests your carbohydrates? Pancreas. So I'll be going after the pancreas. So what I do is put myself on the pancreatic formula, which is a capsule formula, 2-3 times a day for about a month or two. At the same time, remember, that's just a branch off the tree of the gut, so I'm going after the GI tract too. You can't keep the feeder to the pancreas ill health. You have to go after that too. So you have to go in and go after that GI tract, the pancreas. Well, wait a minute. Wait. That would be the lymph system in the GI tract and the lymph system in the pancreas. Well, that pulls me back to the what? Kidneys and adrenal glands. Don't get confused. Kidneys and adrenals sit at always the center of man's problems. And they go out from there. Well, here's a colon up here that also is the center of man's problems. So you've got kidney, adrenal, and gut which is GI tract, stomach and bowels, you've got those tissues that have to be worked on, so everything else, whether it's liver, gallbladder, pancreas, spleen, whatever, all these things then can drain and start to have a way to get themselves healthy. But everything backs up from those tissues. So this is why it's vital to get your kidneys filtering and clean up that gut, because that's a real big problem. Big problem. And you 20-year-olds are going to have gnarly intestinal tracts, unfortunately. And with so much depression and parathyroid weakness, bowels could twist and turn and prolapse and balloon out like nobody's business. Oh. Plastic. Oh. So you want to go after that. I also would recommend smaller meals more often. Chew good. Because if you're compromised in your amylase and your ptyalin and your digestive enzymes from the pancreas, I submit that you want to start digesting more in your mouth a little bit. That's the same digestive enzymes, very similar as the pancreas. And you want to start digesting your carbohydrates in your mouth. So start super chewing. Just chew, and then swallow. And work yourself back to a state of health. Get on the all-raw diet. Start working yourself back into a state of wellness. The raw foods will slowly work yourself back. Get on the botanicals to accelerate and fix things that are deeper. Take a long time to get just a diet to fix everything in people. A real long time. Now, it's got teeth grinding, severe body odor, and gas. Ooh. So your lymph sewer system's backed up, your proteins are backed up, you're getting putrefaction in your body, you can smell it, there's nothing good comes of that. You could have sulfur backed up in the guts where you're getting the gas, or your pancreas is down and you're not digesting your foods, and therefore you're getting fermentation and of course putrefaction if you're doing the proteins, because you need the trypsin and chymotrypsin to help with the polypeptides to get us even to the aminos. So if the bile or the pancreatic duct is in bad shape like the pancreas, then you might not be breaking down proteins down to the aminos, and you could be stuck in the polypeptide or peptide stages, and that would be putrefactive. So everything can be putrefactive or fermentation for you. That's why you're seeing all the kickback on that. So yeah, all of this. Shallow breathing. Yeah. Well, you want to take a look at that. You might look at the thyroid for that. Look at that from a rate of metabolism. You want to look at the adrenals. What's your blood pressure? Is it below 120? That's low. That's low neurotransmitters. That can make for shallow breathing. Hard to take a deep breath. Pressure in the head. Don't like that one. That one is not a good one because you have eyeballs. You've got all kinds of things up here that you'd want to keep, right? So pressure in the head, no. That will lead you to Hellville big time. No pressure in the head for us, is there? You want to drain. Well, your head's sitting on top of what? The GI tract. So again, you're back to cleaning up the bowels. Get those sinuses to drain. Hydration. You could do some neti stuff in hydration. You could do some ear candling. Hot and cold. Work on the neurolymphatic points down the back. Sharp abdominal pain. See, are you talking, could it be in the colon or small bowels? You want to look at that because that's where your small bowel and colon is, in the abdominal area cavities. So you want to take a look at that. That would kind of go along with everything else here. My doc can't find jack except inflammation. Well, you be your own doc, because most of them can't find anything. Get a picture of your eyes, my friend. Got to have a picture of your eyes because you really want to see what's going on with all of this. That's one little secret we have. The other little secret is that inflammation is acidosis, and acidosis comes out of the lymph system, and the lymph system is controlled by the kidneys and adrenals. We're back to that again. So, what your doc is, inflammation is pain and swelling and everything else. Inflammation is your body's natural immune response. That's what inflammation is. Your inflammation is the body's immune response to what? To what? Acids. Acids. And your body has an immune response towards acids, like it would parasitics or anything else. You have an immune response toward acids. So all I can say is get in there, my friend, and you're going to have to be your own doc and fix yourself up, because these guys have to get with this higher level of thinking before they're going to understand how to help you guys. You guys are knowing a lot more than these guys right now in terms of how to get the bodies healthy. And so you're going to have to get your own way. But thanks for the question, and go after this. Things are so serious out there that you really need to go after them, you guys. Really need to go after them. I'm just going to call this person GE because I can't pronounce the first name. Edgar is the last name. I recently experienced an interesting event. I fasted for 5 days. When I started to drink juices and eat fruits again, I peed very opaque urine with sand in it. Yeah! Right? Approximately 2 days later, though, urinated 5 times. My urine was clear again. What do you think of that? Well, you know, sometimes if you're putting too many juices in, yeah, you can thin it out a little bit and not appear to have any in it. And you can be going back and forth a little bit here. Filtration probably isn't every time at first. It's nice to see the fact that you're breaking it loose, though. So keep working with breaking it loose. Try that 16, 24-hour dry fast if you want. Keep breaking that sediment loose. And it does. You guys see it. Over anybody else, you guys are seeing it because that's your focus. You're beginning to see now when kidneys are filtering what you're supposed to see. You don't see clear urine, then you see all the genre of all the problems man faces, because it's all inflammation / causative acidosis with the effect of inflammation. So are my kidneys filtering correctly now that I don't see it? No, not yet. You want to see it most of the time. I'm going to say I'm a big water drinker, so, you know, sometimes I don't always see it either, but 9 times out of 10, I do. And I think that's the way it should be with most everybody. You should see mostly every time you pee filtration of the lymph. If you're sucking down a lot of juices and things, you might thin it out to where there's some you won't see. I wouldn't get too upset. But you want to make sure that some of your urine has sediment in it at some time. Or it's hard to see your symptoms go away. It's not our fault, it's your kidney consciousness and how that all is. I thank you very much for your time and hope you will help me understand this situation. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of with that. But try a little 16-hour, get on Hildy's site and see dry fasting and stuff, and try that if you will. It seems to really shake that loose and break that loose. And that's really a good thing. Margareta. Dr. Morse, you are... Oh, thanks, honey. I appreciate it. Thank you, honey. Thank God for your soul in this world. Thanks, honey. I appreciate that. I was sent here by that anyway. Thank you. Thank you. I know where I come from. Thanks for that. I'm 24 years old. Beauty is very important to me. Good deal. So it is to me too, honey. I do everything I can to maintain this one body I have. I wanted to know what organ / system in our body is responsible for the growth of our eyelashes. You know what? I would get up in the head area with upper circulation, brain and nerve, detox my gut, get my kidneys filtering and all that, and look at my pituitary gland and down in the thyroid and parathyroid glands. Take a look at those and make sure you're on. Check your basal temperature, see where your basal temperatures are for thyroid function. Make sure that your fingernails are nice and strong. You don't have any varicose veins or spider veins, no hemorrhoids, no bruising easy, no depression, anything like that. That's parathyroid. And then, of course, the pituitary. Look at your height. Look at your monthly cycles. Is your monthly menses on time, regular? Do you have excessive bleeding or not? All those things. Well, I would go after my glands. And then detox the head area, because when an area gets acidic, notice this one. When an area gets more acidic, what do you lose? Hair. And you can't grow it back either. Not when you have acid sitting there, chewing you up. And you can see where the lymph gets stagnant in places because you get patches in places. But you can see it on your legs. You can see it in a lot of places when the skin gets too acidic or right under the skin, subcutaneously. Sometimes you can't grow hair. Takes it off too. Acids. Acids. Ow. Acids.
N-O.
So, detoxification is the hydration and the filtration of acids back out of the body. And then you can start growing hair again. Absolutely. But you want to fix this problem for what it means. And if it is a buildup of acidosis, that's in the face and the head area. So you don't want to go there because that'll redden the skin and then change the skin texture and all of that kind of stuff. Remember, acids harden, make stiff. So you feel stiff, your skin gets flaky and dry, dehydration, all of those things. So you want to stay nice and beautiful. Live on fruits, berries, and melons with some salads, and your body will be gorgeous. Your skin will look gorgeous. Everything will be beautiful. Make sure your glands are working, your parathyroid. That way you stay tight and firm everywhere, including your breasts. You know, women sag a lot in places. Their bladders, their uteruses are sagging. Not fun for women when all that happens, is it? So, parathyroid, parathyroid, parathyroid. Tone, tighten. Okay? Important stuff. But thanks for that. I appreciate that question. Good deal. How can I grow my eyelashes longer and thicker naturally? Get yourself healthy. Go after that health thing. Go after detoxification, getting the acids out, inspire the function of pituitary, thyroid, parathyroid, and you'll start to get long eyelashes. Same thing with fingernails and everything else. I had to cut mine all the time. That's the problem. Notice that your fingernails grow like crazy and your toenails and everything. Yeah. When you're healthy, everything grows. All right. Is that possible? Oh, wait. Oh, get this. Longer and thicker naturally. Also, I want to develop fuller, rounder, and firmer breasts. Absolutely. And I'm going to say this. While we have that female reproductive organ with the herbs we do have in there, which some are getting extinct, get yourself on the female reproductive formula, and it's a toning formula. And it'll tone the breasts too. We've had cases, particularly in Portugal, when we first introduced that formula. Women were calling us saying, my breasts are growing or getting firmer, and we're going, they're not growing. They don't make big, ungodly breasts, but they bring you up to speed. If you have smaller breasts, that's a growth factor. You want to take a look at stilbestrol. And so you want to get up in the pituitary. You want to get up into where the growth factors are and get yourself balanced. Therefore, your body will balance out and firm up. The more acidic, the more saggy, the more dehydrated, the more dry, the less the fats use. The fats glomulate, so you're getting, bumpy skin. Go for health. Your skin is beautiful. Everything is beautiful. Everything you're asking here, my dear one, falls under the fruit, berry, and melon sky. The sky of health and vitality. This is what you get. Under the acid sky and all the proteins and crap and starch out there, this is what you get. This is what you have. So you turn that around, honey, and you keep that beauty, and you'll get firm and tight. And this goes for all women that are sagging and everything else. And not just the breast. You got to consider the uterus hanging down on the bladder coming out. No. None of this stuff is any fun for any lady, and especially when you get older and you've had a bunch of babies. And remember, you older ladies that have had some babies, recheck your parathyroid gland. Wouldn't hurt to go there a little bit and tone your connective tissue back up. Good thing. See, that's what's cool. We have all kinds of cool tools to help us get well, to take this body of ours and regenerate it and build it any way we want it. Is that too cool? Because now you're learning the secrets of what breaks it down, and it shouldn't be. It's not really a secret. Most chemists know what acids do to you. But when you're mind writing, when you're chasing thoughts, you're hard to put two and two together. This focus and this focus is different focuses when you're in mind writing because you're following channels of thought. When you pull back, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. Oh, this piece goes here, this piece goes here, this piece goes here, this piece goes here. That's why I tell you to get out of your minds. They might think we're crazy, but when you do, you can academically soar because your ability to comprehend isn't lowered by your focus of mind thoughts, individual thoughts. It's a big deal. Andrea, Hey, Andrea. Is it possible to achieve kidney filtration whilst on diuretics? I would think so. I don't know. But if you're on diuretics, you know what the problem is. Kidneys. Kidneys, kidneys, kidneys. Yep. So, that means you're edemic. And when you're edemic, when you start pulling water in through osmosis, when you're edemic, this is osmosis. And osmosis is when you pull a lesser dense material into a higher dense material. Generally, it's easier to understand diffusion because diffusion is taking a high dense liquid, combining it with a lower dense liquid, and getting an equilibrium, a homeostasis from the high particles to the low particles. You can understand that one. But osmosis is the movement of water through a highly dense area of chemistry, and that's when you see saturation of acids, or you see a glomulation of acidosis or of the lymph system, stagnation of that system. And then, of course, osmosis pulls water into it to help with the dehydration side of that. Hopefully some electrolytes can come into there, but it's never enough. It's never enough because the diets continue to be acidic. So the body can't get on top of this. And it gets more water until you get congestive heart failure, pulmonary edema, until the things take you out. You drown. And you basically can drown. Bad news. Remember that lady I told you? She was a young girl. She gained up to 5 to 10 pounds just taking a morning shower. When you can take a shower and gain 5 pounds, you're so dehydrated it's not even funny. And the problem with that is death follows dehydration. So I would go from diuretics. I would shift away from Coumadin and some of these other things. Not Coumadin, where I want to go, Lasix. Although there's times where if you're really edemic and congestive heart failure and all that, Lasix would probably be just the ticket to help while you're in the process. But remember, most kidney formulas are high in diuretics. All my kidney formulas have diuretics in them. So you're having both effects, herbs in them for kidney regeneration, but also diuretics as well. But it's all kidney problems and acidosis. It all is right into that mix. And that's what you have to fix. So the kidney, I get on at least 2 kidney formulas and use those as my diuretics, because all diuretics has a problem with what? Potassium. Because why? Kidneys control potassium in the body. Too many diuretics can take your potassium out. And now you mess with your sodium-potassium balance, meaning that cell metabolism, or let's say we're talking about malabsorption, we could actually say malabsorption of a cell can take place when the sodium-potassium pumps off. Because you have absorption through a cell membrane wall as you would through the wall of the gut. Oh, look at this. Yeah, my husband takes him as he is, it's her husband. My husband takes him as he is having problems with fluid building up around his pleural cavity, right side. So what kidney is he having problems with? Right kidney. Yeah, you're going to want to handle this one because this could take your husband out, honey. So Andrea, you want to get your husband on these programs, get him on the kidney formulas, on the adrenals, start getting those kidneys opened up, and it'll pull that edema right out. But it's going to pull it along with the lymph. You're going to start hydrating. It's only trying to attempt to hydrate him. But in the attempt to hydrate him, it can drown him. They drained 7 liters of fluid out of him last year and were talking of a liver transplant. You can see now, can't you guys, understanding truth, where this whole medical consciousness has gone wrong and where we have serious problems with that level of thinking in terms of the well-being of the Homo sapien. Because you don't have to take the liver out, you simply fix it. And the liver's on the right side where the kidney is having trouble on his right side. I'm just saying, this is a serious problem. Your husband's fighting here and he has to deal with this. Underlying problem of liver cirrhosis. Fixable, fixable, fixable. What's causing it? Same thing's causing the edema in the lungs and everywhere else. Acidosis, the lymph system, that's got cirrhosis of the liver, but cirrhosis of the liver can be reversed easy. I mean, that's their name for cirrhosis, but any liver complaint or problem, whether it's all the way up into their worlds of cirrhosis or cancer or whatever, all can be regenerated. Done it for years. And the liver's a good organ to regenerate. So, but you've got to go after his lymphatic system. Or but that also means gut tissue and everything else that you have to go after. Matter of fact, we're kind of going along similar lines on all these questions here, and it seems like we're after kidneys, adrenals, gut tissue. Same thing with your man here, my lady. He has been taking your kidney formulas for a while now with an adrenal and liver gallbladder. All right, there you go. He's been vegetarian for most of his life, but does like cheese, etc. No, I don't care what he likes. Can't eat it if you're dead. So he's got to do the diet. It's enough to do the herbs, but you got to do the diet with the herbs. I mixed them both together. I love them both together. So he's got to go up there and get on a fruit, berry, and melon diet only. And I wouldn't juice any juices. I'd have him just eat it. He's holding too much water. Anonymous. Holy. Thoughts on surfer's eye. I'll just say surfer's eye because you're right. I can't pronounce that worth a heck. Causes and treatment, a.k.a. surfer's ear. Abdominal, abnormal bony growth in the ear canal. All right, odd question? No, not really. Not really. But what causes the gradual darkening of the skin around the anus? Now that one is an odd question. Absolutely. How do you know that? No, I'm just joking. But, you have to understand that all things break down to acids. And if you're eating proteins, too much proteins, and you're real sensitive, you can feel the burn from your stool on the anus. No different than holding urine, as a baby holding urine around the bottom. Acids change the melanin. Acids change the texture and consistency and chemistry of everything. So understand that your pigmentation can change under the acid sky, and does. Of course, the pituitary has a lot to do with the vitiligo consciousness, but still, same thing. All these conditions fall under one side of chemistry predominantly, and that's the acid side. If you made a graph of base and acid, and you listed all the complaints that man suffers with under each one, you'd only have a few lines under the base guy, and you would have pages and pages under the acid sky. That's a lymph system, and that's pages and pages and pages of symptomology from that. And that includes the color, texture, and nature of skin, to everything you can drip, from the growth or not growth of hair, to everything like that. That is a good question in one way of thinking about it and understanding the whole role of acids. And if you hold acids around the anus too long, guess what can happen? So all these things are problematic. And the same thing with hemorrhoids. The more acidic you are, the loss of calcium, and then herniations. Just all falls under the same sky, guys. Is it a buildup of toxins? Is it a pituitary? Well, probably more local acidosis in the rectal area like that. But you're right on with the pituitary thinking in terms of melanin and things like that, skin pigmentation. So I don't know how much that with the rectal part would be connected. Same goes for darkening of the pink or dark, yeah, brown or purple. Yeah, I think so too. Female stuff. I assume pituitary. Possible, but there's also the changing of local tissue too. You see that when you get older. You see the changing of the female coloration down there. And I think it's just, again, acidosis and time in that respect. When you're healthy, you're on a base dominant side, your body doesn't change like that. Acids just seem to olden, dehydrate, change color, stiffen, tighten, all those things. Absolutely. And extremely dark around the vaginal opening. Yeah, same thing. Yep. Eyes show pituitary. Oh, yeah, then, yeah. You might be right on with that, dear one. Absolutely. Yeah, eyes show pituitary and, radius solaris. So, you've got to go after with the radius solaris, those are those little dark lines that go up radiating from the stomach or bowel area in the eye. Good catch on that, by the way. You want to go after that gut tissue to stop that. And they also show you, that's what's the beauty about iridology, it shows you the symbiotic relationship of the gut tissue, since that is the embryonic trunk, basically, and how that's related there to local tissue. Absolutely. Good take on yourself there, dear one. Pituitary, work on that. So I do a pituitary, I would do a glandular probably, I would do a pituitary, and that, if it's a pituitary big time, it'll mess with your monthly cycles. So when you're a woman, you have monthly cycles that are off. Or too big a breast or too small a breast. All these things are controlled by pituitaries and adrenals. I've been talking all morning. But it's possible. I would go after that. If your body show it, I'd go after that. I'd go after the pituitary. I would go after the GI tract. I'd get up in the head with upper circumbrain and nerve. I would probably douche, because the question is, with these darkening areas, do you also maybe get some vaginal wall breakdown a little bit, maybe? So if you ever had atypical cells during a pap smear, you definitely want to douche with the Heal-All tea for a couple of weeks. One time at night, get yourself in a bathtub, make you some tea, inject a little, hold it, let it out, inject some more, and kind of clean the vaginal canal there. At the same time, you're going to clean it internally by getting your kidneys and adrenals moving. And that'll start cleaning yourself all ways down there, lymphatically speaking. So I think all in all, when you take a look at all this, a surfer's eye, if you've got a surfer's eye where you're really red and watery, that really shows that's all acidosis. And of course, when the blood vessels in the sclera start peeking up their little heads, you're inflamed, you're acidic all over, especially in those areas, because you can map out those little blood vessels in the sclera to related tissue, organs and glands again. So it's all cool stuff. This is definitely some odd questions that you're asking me about the colorization of that, but it is true, and it's been on my mind too. Everybody has seen that has any relationships and stuff. So yeah, interesting how that is. And I just don't know, only thing I can say is it falls under that acid sky, and you're now seeing the pituitary. Definitely want to go after that. Just making everything healthy, I think, is a good idea for the female side anyway. I would run for a while and tone the organs with the female reproductive formula. Also, we'll pick up the pituitary with chaste tree berry, or vitex, is for the pituitary, and I put it in the female reproductive because a lot of women that have female problems have pituitary problems, and so they're now having menses problems, heavy bleeding, cramping, things like that. Their thyroids are down, their parathyroids are down, all these things are down, therefore they're seeing the kickback on their monthly cycles. And a woman shouldn't have to suffer with that at all. Matter of fact, remember we told you that fruitarian women only spot. So, as a woman, if I was a woman, or my female side, and I could put my female side in a female body, I would hate monthly cycles. So I'm going to be as clean as I can get so I don't have to go through that stuff. Yeah. So, good questions though. Thank you so much, my dear one. And this is PRAS. Dr. Morris, what is your opinion on coconut water fasting? Well, I can't see anything wrong with that. I can't see anything wrong with coconut water fasting. I've never done it though, I'll be honest with you. I've done about every fast under the sun, but I've never done coconut water fasting. Coconut water has only been in a short period of time. I've never thought about doing a fast on coconut water. But I can't see anything wrong with that at all. I have access to fresh young coconuts as I'm on a long holiday in Sri Lanka. Oh! I hope I didn't get this. Oh man, when is this? See, that's the problem with these and me getting to them. He's probably off of vacation right now, or she. But that'd be beautiful. Sri Lanka, oh my God. I always thought that'd be pretty there. But there's no clean water supply. Yeah, I would do coconut water. Yeah, here, and just plastic bottled water. I know, I got stuck with some today. Would fresh coconut water fast be effective as regular water fasting? I would think so. I would think it'd be somewhat protecting to you. I think it would be a good fast. Let me know how you do on it, okay? Let me know how you do. I'd fast for a week on it. See how I did on it. I don't know if you'd get the deeper detox that of an astringent fruit, because you have a little more, I would say, pull toward a lipid water. But I don't know. It would be interesting. I would think it'd be a great fast to do. I would think it would be an easier one to do in terms of that versus water. And your body might even like that better. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out, wouldn't it? Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. I've been treated for glaucoma for a couple of years. Had surgery on my right eye to release fluids and bring down the pressure reading. You know, when I think about, and I mean, I hate to go there, but it's in our face everywhere we turn, is the medical community. And not that it's a bad community, but it is a bad community. It's got its goods, but by far, it's got to change. You can't keep going down this same road, or there won't be any humans left. The only ones left will be the natural people. And it's just, you know, I can't keep going down this road. First of all, when you have a pressure, we just punch a hole in your eye. Or we get pressure in the ears, we punch a hole in the ear. Or when your thyroid is got a goiter on it or something, or a nodule, we just cut part of it off. If your thyroid is hyperactive, we'll just cut it off until we cut off enough to where it's giving us just the right amount of. I mean, when you think about these things in context of consciousness, it becomes pretty bizarre. I'll just leave it that way. Pretty bizarre, Cynthia. So, you don't want to be hurting your eyes for pressure that is of the lymph system. Glaucoma is a lymphatic pressure. This isn't a blood pressure. This is a lymph pressure. A much worse pressure, because it's an acid pressure. Therefore, MACD, wrinkled retinas, all kinds of crap can take place in the eye itself. Not just the pressure, but it's an acid pressure. So, no. Candle your ears, 3 or 4 candles per ear. Cold, hot and cold to the cerebellum. Work on the neurolymphatic points. Get your gut cleaned up. Get the kidneys filtering. And get this glaucoma out of you. This is lymphatic pressure, and it's in the head and brain. No. This whole idea of, oh my God, these guys, I don't know what to say, without being unpolite, because it's ridiculous. They're going to hurt your eyes here when you can fix this real easy, okay? To release fluid, bring down the pressure, putting drops in ball. I get that. I have recently been diagnosed with hyperparathyroid. I like that. If I had to want a hyper anything, it'd be one a hyperparathyroid. And told that surgery is the only. Surgery is the only solution. We're going to cut those babies out. Well, you got 4 of them, so I could cut out 3, give you 1. So, you're right here, honey. You're right here. And this here is sitting right down on this GI tract. So you got to get the GI tract and kidneys worked so you can drain this. And it'll take care of your parathyroid, it'll take care of the glaucoma, it'll take care of all those things, sweetheart. And you don't remove that which is vital. You remove the parathyroid and you're going to end up with a wicked case of depression, skeletal problems, connective tissue problems, neurological problems, blah, 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 blah. Of course, you can take calcium supplements. The problem with that is you need that hormone. And they never give you the hormone back. Not good. Don't fall for that crap. You fix this. You have the power to fix this easy. You have the knowledge right here. You've got the RD people. You got YouTube site. You got the fruits, berries, and melon site. You've got you got all these sites. MoveOn.org. moveyourlymph.org, isn't it, or .com? That's the big site we all go to. Have them help you with that, because this is important that you get help here. I'm not going for that. Good, good, good. What do you recommend and suggest? Just that. You take off on a detox, go after your kidneys, adrenals, your GI tract, start getting everything down here cleaned up and this drained. Upper circumbrainstem nerve wouldn't hurt, so you can strengthen anything that's breaking down and you can get more oxygenated blood. But this pressure is only relieved by moving your lymph system, getting your lymph system to filter again through your kidneys, and all this pressure and acids coming, inflammation comes out of you. What are your thoughts on the ketogenic diet, high-fat diet? Let me grab me some water. Give me 2 seconds. Thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, I got some water. Okay. Well, with high lipid diets, you can create the same thing as acidosis, but we call it ketosis. So you have to be careful with high lipid diets. Lipids are anti-inflammatory. This is why your lymph system is a lipid-based system. So you can feel better on a ketogenic diet from an inflammatory position, but not from a health position. Too many lipids, it creates the same thing as acidosis. So you don't want to go that route. You want good old electrolytes, good old normal chemistry in foods. You get your natural fatty acids and your carbons, your sugars, and your amino acids and things like that. So I'm not really hot on any ketogenic diet at all. Understand why people have success with that in terms of inflammation, but you have to be careful about too much lipids. Not a good take either. Lipids also are the most toxic part of plants when you look at that. So, everything in proper balance. And the question is, which does the body prefer most, amino acids or fatty acids? That's the question of the week for you guys. Now, is it main function just to lose weight quickly? Not on a high-fat diet. Fats is what puts on weight. So I don't know how you would lose weight on a high-fat diet. Or does it have healing abilities as well? Lipids, like I say, anti-acids. So it has more of an anti-acid factor to it. If you thought about it in terms of nuts, it is better to eat a pignolia or a pine nut, in my opinion, than a walnut. Now, a walnut is full of lipids, but a pine nut is heavily full of lipids. So, even like an almond or a pecan, your pine nuts would be a more lipid-based nut, would be more healthy for you, in my opinion. But again, in the ratio of foods, lipids are not high as amino acids. Well, I just gave the answer away. Okay, she's asking because I've stumbled across it, experimented with it, but I know it's on the opposite spectrum of your so-called fruits, melons, and berry diet. Yeah. Because the fruits, berries, and melons are the foods, especially the fruits and the berries, designed for the human, not lipid diets. Matter of fact, no animal has a high lipid diet, except maybe the grizzly bears just before they go into hibernation. Then they go for the head and they go for the skin. They go for fat. Any fat that they can find, they go for it. That'll help store fats on them, and then they can break that into glycogen and into glucose for ATP or whatever TP they want for energy for the cell. I came across a video showing the removal of tapeworms, parasites from someone's small intestine. Oh, woo, woo, woo. What the hell is that thing? That's exactly, what the hell is that thing? My sister got out 3 tapeworms, 3, And judging by the size of the head, they were every bit over 20 footers. I think the Smithsonian has one 30-some foot. I don't know what the longest tapeworm is, but think of the small bow's only 22 foot. So it can get curled up in there pretty good. Oh, I tell you what, there's hog or pork tapes, beef tapes, human tapes. They're gnarly too. They're gnarly, boy. So's the head of a roundworm. Do we really have that inside of us? Not everyone. Thank God. Not everyone, honey. I'm going to say, if I had to say, only about, I'd say about 10 to 15% of our folk see actual tapes. Probably 75 of them see other types of parasites, though, like rounds and hooks, pins, that sort of thing. Occasional roundworm, threadworms. I don't see a lot of people getting threadworms, but I think they're hard to get out. They're nasty. God. Yeah, I know. That's why I was telling you, I can't watch The Monsters Within You anymore. I just can't watch that show. It's just so bad. But it's true. And this is the problem. And what they need to hitchhike with that show is the factor of terrain. Mediums, culturing mediums. What's the food sources? And the way we eat and the type of dead stuff we eat. We give plenty of food for these creatures. We're eating dead stuff. That's what these creatures like, is dead stuff. Because remember, this is a birth, life, and death planet. You only look through your physical body while it's here for a short period of time. If you get another one, whatever your journey is. But bodies are only here short periods of time on this planet, as it is in the physical universe. Thank God. Because when you wake up to your higher worlds that you're in at the same time, this one isn't quite as nice. If so, how do we get it out? If you have our first kit, if you notice that, you guys have been on the 14-week protocols. Our first kit is a 2-week kit, Parasite M and Parasite G. We feel that if you see parasites with that, then you've got to stay on Parasite M and G for a couple of months. And I would take Parasite G up into another level. I would do 4 or 5 tablets 4 or 5 times a day if I'm seeing some bigger boys or more. That's a big deal. You know, there's you want to get these things out of you for sure. And then I was just talking about this on the last video, I think. And then maybe wait 30 days and do it again, because you have eggs and a hatchery of eggs. Now, a lot of times in detoxification, you'll detox sacks of eggs out, whether they're hidden in bowel pockets or whatever. You'll see sacks of look like eggs out. Then they'll come out, but you want to make sure you get a thorough kill, or they'll be back. I know. And you ladies in particular can't handle parasites. I know that for sure. Is that thing really controlling our minds? Well, I don't know about controlling the mind, but it can control your food desires. And this is particularly true with fungus. And it's a symbiotic relationship here. And if you don't realize, you just have to have sugar, sweets, cheeses, things like that. Pastas, cheeses, that's heavy fermentation. That's fungus or candida. And you don't even realize it's not your craving. Tapes are more red meat, uncooked meat. So if you're the one that eats dead animals and you like it bleeding or rare, let me throw up a minute. But my sister, who had 3 large tapes, got to the point when she was a meat eater, she was telling the chef to just throw it on one side on the grill and on the other side and let it walk out to me, is what she used to say. And I'm going, oh, yuck. I couldn't even eat at the same table. Nasty. But she was feeding for the multitudes. She was feeding for some of her little friends. Ugh. So, yeah, you want to be careful there. Do we need to? Yes. An emphatic yes. How did it get there? Is that thing really controlling our mind? Well, first of all, we get parasites from lettuces, guys. That's why you wash everything with veggie washes and stuff, because you can get parasites literally on anything. Bottom of your feet, licking your hands, who knows, all kinds of ways. Of course, animal products are going to have the worst. Have you ever actually seen that come out of you or any of your patients? I've never had a tapeworm, but we've had plenty come out of our clients for sure, all over. Matter of fact, I used to collect parasites. When you're at our level 1, I always bring what I have, parasites, so you can look at them. So I'll bring them again at our level 1 coming up so you can see them. I don't have any tapes. I have a roundworm. Let's see, I got a roundworm here. See, come here, baby. Where are you? No, that's a tumor. Here's a roundworm. Oh, I got another one to show you too. All right, this came to me alive. I didn't know really what to feed it. This girl that lady we worked on years ago with a big tumor around her aorta. She just went on raw again. She goes back and forth, raw and not raw. So she put herself on raw, all salads and fruits, and this thing came out alive and well. Had she taken some herbs that had been dead, I can only show you the base of that. See that big thing in there? Yeah. And see if you can check this little baby out. This looks like a wasp with fur. This got legs on it and everything. We get a lot of them out here. I don't know if you can see this little thing in here. Yeah. Yeah. Well. This is a flask of threadworms. Can you see those in there? Look at all those worms. This is a big tumor I pulled out of somebody. Good stuff. I'm hungry. Where's lunch? Yuck. Oh well. When you're a healer, you can't get upset at these things. This is life on a planet like this. We have birth, life, and death. And as things die, things come chew on you. I mean, come on. That's the way it is. Of course, there seems to be a high period of detox parasite removal kit along with that. I do. I don't know. Would love your thoughts. You got it. Thanks, sweetheart, for the questions. My God, I have so many. I can't even keep up with you guys. Holy moly. And I got to stop this in a little bit. This is okay. Let me see this one. All right, this is kind of a long one here, but to see, you and I met around the end of January when my friends Terry, Kate, and myself, Rich, visited your place to have our eye photos taken. I remember. Thank you very much for the time you spent with us. You didn't have to, but listen. I love all you guys, and this is fun, and it's an incredible learning experience for you guys out there to see what actually is causing man's problems and how you fix it, and all the things that go in between that, all the parasites and all what man has to deal with. This is just part of life. We've just been kept from that. Our educational system should incorporate how you take care of your physical body, shouldn't it? Because that's the one thing you have to carry with you while you're on this planet is your physical body. You should learn how to take care of it. But you can't learn how to take care of it if you're going to places that people don't know how to take care of it. And that's the problem. You have a lot of opinions, but when you get down to the actual working of these opinions, not many works. What really works is what you're doing right now with us. You see that all over the place. Okay. I'm emailing you today not to ask anything of you, but to offer the brief story of my personal experience with which may help to provide some inspiration and or motivation to your many listeners. All right. I am 46 years young now. I met my friend Terry in 1995 when I was 25. Oh, wow. Very shortly after meeting him, we got into a conversation about cleansing and nutrition. Since I want to keep this short, fast forward a few months later when a lot of what Terry shared with me made too much sense for me not to try to cleanse for myself. I dove into the deep end and did the most intense cleanse we knew of at that time. It was rough due to the heavy SAD diet my body had been accustomed to, which is a standard American diet, of all the meats and the pastas and all that. But I persevered and got fantastic results. A few months later, I quit my job as a personal trainer because much of the nutritional information that I was supposed to advise to my clients was wrong, and I couldn't in good conscience continue on that path. This right there tells me that this is a great soul, that this soul wasn't going to, once he learned the truth, he wasn't going to continue, or she wasn't going to continue down that road. That's what truth is about. That's what a high being is. Once you find out something's hurting others, you withdraw from it. That's why there's so many great nurses that need this level of thinking, because a true trainer, personally a true detoxifier, this would be a good shoe-in for an RN, LPN to get involved in having a little clinic of their own or a little office of their own and work with people in detoxification. That is perfect for you nurses. Because you can't give meds anymore, not with good conscience and thinking about the karmic blowback. Because once you know, it's there even if you don't know, guys. Karma is there even if you don't know. But especially when you know, you're going to watch the karma come back to you. So, these are better areas to be in. The world needs you, and nurses are perfect. They have enough information about the body. Now, over the years, I continue to cleanse my body and work towards a diet of raw fruits, vegetables, and sprouts. A lot of fruit and veggie juices and some sprouted grains. By the age of 35, I was very thin, looking 160 pounds at 6'2". Wow. But my energy levels were absolutely amazing. I was going to the gym every day and playing basketball for 2 to 4 hours nonstop and out hustling kids that were half my age. Cool. They all assumed I was in my early 20s until one of them asked. When I told them my age, they didn't believe me until I showed them my driver's license. At my peak of fitness, I was consumed nothing but fresh squeezed Valencia orange juice throughout the day, and in the afternoon, I would eat 2 veggie burritos, which consisted of raw salad veggies, avocado, and sprouted grain tortillas. I ate that way for a couple of years without succumbing to cravings for other foods, or if I did, I would eat a little bit of something and my body would deal with it easily, and then I'd continue on. That's a good way. I think that's really just talking about what we all do a lot of times. If we get a craving for something, we just take a bite. That's all you need. Done. That's all you need. Nothing wrong with that. It's just nature here. And remember where this planet has come from and what all these conditioned states we've all come through physically here, emotionally and mentally as well, of course. I never ate enough of anything detrimental to slow me down, my body processing it easily, although as time went on, I would find myself going through cycles of eating more cooked food and sweet treats. Now, fast forward to the summer of 2014, I had been living in Sarasota. Sarasota on Siesta Key for years. I miss Sarasota and Siesta Key. That's right below an island I lived on for years. My parents built a house on it back in 1950, and it's called Anna Maria Island. Island of Lost Souls. Beautiful white sand beaches, but Siesta Key has that Travel Channel's best beach sand. Oh my God. Sarasota is a higher consciousness. It's the Sedona of Florida, in my opinion. There's a very popular gourmet market in Sarasota, which I frequent, but early on managed to gravitate towards the most healthier choices I could find. Until the summer of 2014, I started eating a dessert every once in a while, always telling myself that I would only do it occasionally and that I'd work it off playing volleyball or tennis or at the gym. Oh, what kind of dessert are we talking about here? And I always did. So my indulgences became more and more frequent. In a year and a half, I have gained 30 pounds of fat. I didn't feel the energy to walk many places anymore. My joints hurt, and whenever I attempt to run, I feel as stiff as a board. So what did he do to himself? He reacidified himself. He's making himself more acid and more acid. It's possible he never got his kidneys filtering in the first place, and therefore he didn't take that much longer to acidify, but this is over time. My eyes are always pooped with floaters. Gooped with floaters. My sinuses are so congested I can't really breathe through my nose. What kind of dessert were you eating? It had to be, dairy products. I mean, that's something dairy products. That's exactly what dairy products does to you. It clogs you up with mucus. Just all these symptoms, just like you said. My tonsils are so swollen, it affects my voice and ability to swallow, and I can feel my bumpy lip glands up and down the sides of my neck. Uh-oh. Oh, I don't like that right off, Rich. That's not good. Wow. I snore at night and often wake up parched from breathing with my mouth open. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you're a snorer. Well, it's just congestion. You're just congested, my friend. Well, dessert must have been pretty good. Let me guess. Creme brulee. Oh, creme brulee. Oh, my God. Oh, how bad. I mean, that thing has everything bad, but is it so good? Custard. Oh, my God. But you can't eat it because look how bad it is. That's something you do once in a blue moon, and then the fruit the next day to move the mucus out that it just created. Sometimes I wake up gasping. Sleep apnea. I don't like what you're going here. As if I had stopped breathing, which you did. Sleep apnea is exactly what you have there. I feel my heart working harder every night when I lay down to go to sleep, and I can feel the pressure from lymph congestion in my head and my eyes, in my ears, and on the parts of my brain. This is so-called food that my mind has been enjoying the taste for mere minutes. Now you got my thinking. Yeah, the enjoyment for mere minutes gives you a pleural of problems that last forever, and unless you learn how to get them out of you. You're right on, Rich, with your thinking. That's just my thinking, too. While you sacrifice for a few seconds or minutes of pleasure can rip you. Absolutely. Enjoying the taste for mere minutes has been slowly killing my body. And because of how sensitive and aware I have become, see, that's the other problem. You're now sensitive and aware. So it's worse because you're now cleaner and more sensitive and aware. And now you're really feeling it. Before, when you were a child and this was happening from the milks and everything, they just give you antibiotics or suppress it. So you never had a chance. They never let you go through it and clean it out. Or they take your tonsils out with tonsillitis instead of detoxing you. So, and this, you keep eating the same thing. But then you don't realize it has this kick until you get cleaner. And then you do it. And then you see the kick. Oh, when I do it, I get the same kick. But it's immediate. I choke up with mucus, almost choke to death sometimes. If I cheat on the wrong thing, it can just about take me out. It's too much mucus. My body goes, phew, because that's negative energy that your body does not want in it, and your mucosa pours the mucus out. And you can feel it in your sinus, you can feel it in your bronchi and lungs. It's just like once you get that vibration in you, it's like all your mucosa goes woof. And then now you got to get all this mucus out that you just created by putting a mucosic responsive food in the body. Now you got to clean the mucus out. Well, that's not fun because it requires cold and flu-like symptoms, sinus drainage and coughing up mucus and bronchitis and pneumonia, those type of symptoms to expectorate it. Well, no one likes to go through that. But if you consume and you implant, you have to go through it to get it out. Or you can keep it in and it becomes your next mass or tumor. Yeah. Yep. I can feel in great detail what I have done to myself. Yeah, I know right where you're coming from. But this is a good letter to others to realize this is what happens to all of us, my friend. A good deal. As of today, I am 3 days into a juice cleanse. My friend Kayla, who has communicated with you, yes, I'm familiar before, very sweet, has very passionate, I'm glad she's helped me that way, or he, with great enthusiasm, learned much of what you have shared in your videos, and has prepared the herbs that I need to straighten myself out. Now I'll share with you one of the lessons that is in this for me. I know why I chose to eat these things that kill my body, and it's for much deeper reasons than just because they taste good. I know that a much more aware, vibrant, alive, and powerful being resides within me. And I know that I'm using these foods to keep that part of me suppressed and shut down. Now you're getting it. Why? Because your experience here wouldn't be as good. And the reason is you don't want to be here when you're awake. This isn't a place to be when you're really awakening, because it's so claustrophobic. When you're awakening, you're energetic, you're free, you want to just travel to this galaxy or this dimension. You don't want to be stuck here in the body. So yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. And it's a way we keep ourselves hiding in creation. Absolutely, you're right on there. And even know why to some degree. I'm using this email to you as a statement of intent to get my body cleansed again and to go deeper into myself to understand why I chose to suppress this other part of me. Then I'm going to resolve these reasons and let that part of life again, completely out of denial and back into the light of day. Thank you very much, Dr. Morse, for sharing that time, sharing this with you. This is Rich. Rich, you don't have to waste your time going back. It doesn't matter. Start now from now. You don't want the causal body. Causal body is the time track. Past, future. No. You don't need to be there either, because it doesn't matter. You want the ultimate you want the whole you, the whole nothing but the truth you, then you have to step beyond all duality, all things, and that's all in the present moment where everything exists. The moment pulls itself into time sequences and makes the illusion of travel and differences and things like that. There we have the worlds of duality. But when you merge the worlds of duality into one force, you're at God again. And that's who you are and where you're from. And to experience that is kicking back from the desires and thoughts. Those are the emotional drivers of thoughts. Don't desire and quit thinking. Watch your thoughts. Step back from your mind. And you will get to that present moment. And then you'll really get a rush. One that you probably can remember, but in the distant mind. Something else. Thank you, Rich, for that letter. Appreciate it much. This is from Lois. Hi, Doc. Thank you so much for my family's new way of life. Thank you, Lois. Question. My 14-year-old daughter was diagnosed with scoliosis. 14 years old. Come on. Scoliosis, 18-degree curvature. All right. She has irregular... Okay, so this is an important one. Let's listen to this one. There's a 14-year-old female diagnosed with scoliosis, 18-degree curvature. That's fairly decent. She has irregular menses. Every couple of months now, this past month, she menstruates twice in 1 month. The doctor said if it continues over the next 4 to 6 months, she'll need to go to a gyno for hormonal therapy, which I definitely don't want. My guess, weak pituitary. I love you guys. You know, Lois, you guys are smart. I love you guys. This is what mothers need to get. You guys, I'm humbled to work with you guys. This is so cool. You hit it right on the nose, dear one. Absolutely pituitary. And the pituitary, remember we just talked about that earlier in this video, sits down on thyroid and parathyroid glands. This is important. And another thing you might, did he get any growing pains and stuff like that? That's another sure sign. But you know immediately she has parathyroid weakness, that pituitary could be sitting down on you know she's a pituitary right off. That's a given. Now, it probably is to some degree sitting on the parathyroid and thyroid, but she also could have a genetic weakness in those areas because of maybe previous ancestors that had the pituitary and the parathyroid, all milk drinkers, all weakening this upper area of the head. So, definitely would go after that pituitary. But I think what I would do is pituitary herbs, the endocrine, that's a pituitary formula, the endocrine gland formula. I would hit her with an adrenal 400 because I've got a feeling your daughter's going to have low blood pressure here. So, you want to hit with the adrenal 400 for a bottle. And then move from the adrenal glandular to the adrenal herbs, hitchhike with licorice. So you got three things going after the endocrine glands. You could substitute the endocrine glands, put the female reproductive in. Now the female reproductive will tone the uterus and ovaries, but has chase tree for the pituitary. This is a pituitary problem. You hit it right on the head. You mothers, this is smart, this is proper, and this is exactly what you need to do, to look at your children's problems and start fixing it. They can't fix it. They don't know a thing about it. Go to hormonal therapy. Right. You know, this has got to be fixed. So your daughter is going to, you can pull your daughter's menses back on time again, get her all straightened down that way. You can fix that scoliosis, will pull itself straight too. Got to get the daughter on all raw, real important for her. Get that pituitary going and get that. I would use a parathyroid glandular, 50 milligrams. It's a new one I had made for us. 50 milligrams. With her, I'd do just 1-3 times a day, hitchhike with the bones formula. Got to do the all raw, and you got to get her kidneys filtering because that lymph goes right down each side of the spine, and that's what you got to get moving. That's, you can do those neural lymphatic points down her spine, particularly focusing on the kidney neural lymphatics. Get those kidneys filtering in your daughter. That'll start moving the stiffness out of one side over another. Start being in equilibrium down the back. At the same time, that'll help to, the body to pull this straight again, getting that parathyroid up, getting calcium utilization up, will start to strengthen, therefore it'll pull it straight again. That should be a given. She shouldn't have any problems doing that. Fairly easy to get the menses regular, because if you don't, she'll have a hard time conceiving children. You have a real hard time conceiving children. And you don't want to go through all that stupidity. You want her to conceive and hold her children because she could abort early on. So these are some of the things that can happen to females that have pituitary problems. And we don't want her to have those because she's only 14 years old. Time to get her healthy and well. And your 14-year-old daughter should view this video so she knows how serious this is, because her future and how happy she is or will be and how happy the children will be all depends upon this, because guess what? What's a word we can call this when she starts having babies? Postpartum depression. And this is to be serious in her to where she'll run with depression, and then it can get really, really bad. This is not a good situation here for a female to be in. So she's got to fix these things, and then she'll be good, and all her female stuff will grow accordingly, and everything will be appropriate. Yeah. Thank you, Doc, for all I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Liz. But Lois, that's exactly what I do, Lois, is go after your daughter like this, because you want to fix this for what the future could be for her. And that, when we can fix things, why wouldn't we want to do that? Because we don't want our babies to live in hell. We want our babies to learn and be better than we are. We don't want them to have the same pitfalls and the things that we had to go through. We want our children to be better. Because it's not just about that. It's about the whole of all of us together. It's about the planet. It's about all life being able to express itself in freedom and joy. Right now, you have power control everywhere. So the freedoms are being stifled out of everything. And so, you want to come and enjoy the planet, enjoy camaraderie with other beings and things like that. going to be a while here, but it can start, and we're all starting an incredibly new cycle for this level, and that's a good thing. So thank you much, Lois. But all you guys with these kind of problems, and you young ladies that are having these problems, listen up and fix these things early, because the future is not a happy one if you don't fix these things, and you don't want your back to keep stirring, because all kinds of serious problems can happen with scoliosis. You remember your nerve and blood and lymph flows right down there, and you don't want to impede spinal fluid because that's how you detoxify the brain. I mean, there's all kinds of things that could happen with this. I'm not a really good member of country boy, not good with English. Nasafa. My name is Nasafa, and I love your YouTube. Thank you, honey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Attention swollen feet. I am 30 years old, and I have been on birth control for the past 2.5 years. Since then, I have learned a lot about the female body. I will be starting the natural birth due to reading Taking Charge of Your Fertility and learning that BC is a steroid. I want to come out with a natural, and I've said this before, an herbal birth control that won't hurt or in any way affect steroids in the body. I want to be able to do that. And so that's my next big undertaking. I got the muscle powder coming, the bodybuilder powders. I've got the Mother's Milk by Nature. It's here. Like I said, we're about probably a week before we have them coming in here, and we need labels yet, so it'll be a couple of weeks before it's available to you. But you try this one on your babies. We're all going, oh, this is good, good. Oh, this is good. It's a great formula, and I'm so excited about it. Mostly fruits and berries, but just really good formula. It'll mature your babies. I designed this to fix genetics as your baby's consuming the nutrition. Yeah, because we can fix our children. Now, I have gained a total of 60 pounds over the past 3 years. My main problem is my feet and ankle swells during and only in the summer. What should I do to fix this issue? It's tied with your weight gain, and it's called kidney and adrenals. Kidney and adrenal glands. You want to work on your kidney and adrenal glands very importantly. Make sure your blood pressure is 120/60 or real close, and make sure that you're filtering from your kidneys. That'll pull the edema out of the feet, but it's a big sign telling you that your kidneys and adrenals are in trouble. That means your lymphatic system's getting in trouble. So this becomes a big deal here for you, and can affect all these things like that. But look at that, look at your eyes again, see what else is going on in you from that sort of thing. Hello all, thank you for the generous work, thank you guys. I think our staff does good, I really do. I mean, considering the level that we work with, I think considering trying to navigate between having the affordability to have enough staff, which you never have enough staff, you never do. But the affordability to have enough staff, that's the thing. This is my 13-year-old daughter. Look at this, 13, 12, 8, 5. Whew. My 13-year-old daughter, Ocean. Oh, what a name. I love that name. Ocean. Wow. Never heard that name before. Cool. Has had full body eczema for 2 years plus, non-stop. Full body, huh? Yuck. Well, you know, we've done nothing but talk about that probably in all these videos. You notice most of these videos, we don't get through them without at least one, if not 5, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, some type of skin problems. Yeah. So just know that anytime you see a skin problem, you're seeing a lymphatic problem. Skin, lymphatic. Okay? Now, what other word can we bring in here? Kidneys. Kidney. Skin, third kidney. Okay, we call the skin the body's third kidney because it is one of the largest, it is the largest eliminative organ of the human body in and of itself, but it's tied to the kidneys and adrenal glands. Interestingly, though, a lot of people consider it tied to the liver and use liver herbs to take care of it. But in reality, the skin is a detoxifying organ of metabolitic waste. When you see all this redness, what side of chemistry are you looking at? You're right. Acids. Acids. Metabolitic waste. Acids. Well, they're not going anywhere. And this poor little girl, head to toe. Head to toe. Well, there's only one remedy. One remedy. And that is get the kidney. Of course, 13, she's going to have kidney and adrenals. It's almost standard issue. St. Peter, passing out kidney and adrenal cards. Kidney and adrenal. His soul, take this with you. You're going to need it. Your body's going to have this weakness. Your body's going to have this weakness. Because that's what appears. I mean, when you're 13, you can just about take it to the bank. I want to borrow $1 million. I have kidney and adrenal weaknesses. Okay. Because it's factual. So you've got to fix those. To fix the skin, you have to fix the kidney and adrenals. Meaning filtration, filtration, filtration. Get the filtration, filtration, filtration. Whatever you take, use 2 kidney formulas. She's 13 years old. I would do 2 kidney formulas, 1 lymphatic formula. I'd probably use a lymph node first, a liquid, probably number 3 first. I would use 2 kidney formulas. I'd use a GI tract formula, start cleaning up her bowels. I use the skin formula if you want, but first go after that first kit, deworm her and everything like that. Go the first kit always. Each and every one, try to get the first kit down. To deworm her, it opens the liver, it's the kidneys, the endocrine glands. Hit that first kit, then take off if you want, make your own. However you do that, but you want to get your daughter's kidney and adrenals going. That is how you get the skin going. All right, and that's going to start cleaning everywhere in her body, everywhere, because everywhere has lymph and blood. So you're going to start cleaning everywhere. I'd get into the gut and clean up the GI tract. This particular 2-year spell started after we said no to all steroid and cortisol treatments she had been repeatedly prescribed for asthma and frequent eczema. So all you had to do was say asthma. So where's the problem with asthma? Now remember, asthma is the first start of COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And I find it stupid that they call it COPD, chronic obstructive. Yes, it's obstructive, mucus and scar tissue and stuff from all the mucus and stuff. Yes. But there's a component that I guess they just don't understand yet that you've got to understand. To COPD, asthma, emphysema, and full-fledged COPD. And that is the neurological system. The autonomic system is tied to that. Your adrenal glands are tied to that. You can't take a deep breath. It's tied to the gut and solar plexus. This is a big deal for her. And you'll want to go after this for her because this is back to her adrenals again. That's where her steroids are, by the way, is the adrenal glands. So you're telling me at this point that she has kidney and adrenal problems, which is then making for skin problems. That's just a start here, right? She went on a lighter diet immediately with all raw or steamed fruit, starchless veggie, a little millet or quinoa, and rare steamed fish. Shuck the fish, shuck the quinoa and millet, and do the veggies minimally and hit the fruit, berries, and melons hard. That's all I can say. But go after the kidneys, the adrenal. Use your herbs. Go after her lymphatic system. This is where this problem is. Lymphatic system. So go on lymphatic herbs, kidney herbs, skin herbs, those sort of things. But know that she's going to expectorate. The skin could look bad or worse at times, better at times, worse, better, worse, and it just starts fading away that way until it's all gone. And you're done. But fixing this is also, it's not just about the skin, is it? Because that system is the system that has all what medical doctors use the terminology of cancer in. These are lymphomas. So she's up for tumors. She's up for inflammation everywhere. She's up for all kinds of things. So this is a little bit bigger deal than just a few little places here. But had dark chocolate for treats. I also made homemade salves. Ooh, grapeseed oil. This is a good mom. Grapeseed oil, almond grapeseed oil. That oil is so nutritive. It pulls your goodies right down in the subcutaneous layers of the skin. Now remember this though. She got almond oil, pure beeswax, coconut oil, rosemary oil drops. Here's the thing, sweetheart. You know, when you have a cup of water, and we just talked about this on a case here earlier, when your cup is full, it's full. I understand using it. It's probably okay to use a little grapeseed and stuff little to help buffer, because these are oils. And going back to fat diets, lipid diets, going back oils. Oils are antacids, are stronger antacids than plain electrolytes. So oils are good in terms of antacids, but she has a system of fluids that's already backed up. So you can't put too much more fluids through the skin because it'll just make that system even more backed up. Because this is a fluid-based problem. It becomes a cell problem from the fluid-based problem first. I found your blessed videos in September. Oh, thank you, honey. We started the herb 6 months ago. She is taking bowel, GI, broom. Yes. Parrot. Yes. Yes. All right. You're already on this. Kidney, adrenal, brain, upper circ, all glands, skin, lymph. Right on, babe. Whoa, you're really hitting her good. Whoa, 13, you're hitting her good. With emphasis on the eliminative organs. Smart mother. This is what it takes, Mom. This is what it takes. And the skin, it'll go up and down, up and down, up and down, but it will go. Get her kidneys filtering. Taking the herbs also kicked the detox a notch at the time, and so her eczema got worse with it. Yes, it is. It's detox. She has been on fruits, salads only for over a month. Keep her going. Keep her going. I don't care what. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going with the kidneys. Keep it going with the adrenals. Keep it going with the lymph. Keep it going. Pretty soon everything's going to start fading away. You only have so much in the body to clean out of it anyway. So, it's going to get it. The eczema became more virulent since starting the diet, so up another notch again, and it has not subsided yet. Keep going, though, I have to tell you. If you back her down off of this, it'll back down. But that's not what you want to do. It'll back down if you back down. Don't back down. Keep going. Because then when you do back down, it'll be a great back down. So eczema is itchy, and you know why it's itchy? Parasite M. You need to run Parasite M with her because it's full of fungus. I mean, that sewage like that's full of bacteria and fungus, and that's why it itches so much. And she could have major itching all over. I know it. Check her thyroid too. Make sure her basal temperatures are up enough to get some degree of sweating. If not, you want to hit her thyroid a little bit and bring it up. Upper 97s. The eczema is itchy, red, a little raised, and runs clear. Yeah, that's all sewage. Notice that clear liquid, it's all acid sewage. Yep, just like pimples and all that crap. This is all the lymph system. When you learn about it, doesn't it finally fit? Everything starts to fit and shape and how it is, and you finally understand, I understand it now. Understanding is one thing. Getting remedy takes a little longer sometimes, especially when this is genetics into that sort of thing, because you got to remember, Mom, her lymph system came out of you. She was living in you for 9 months or whatever. So her lymph system is yours. You might want to look at yours. Just saying. It's all over her body. When it dries, it flakes a little. Yeah, absolutely. The acids. It dries, it flakes. It's just like the flaky stuff in the urine, like the flaky stuff on the head. Yeah. It's like snow. Just like snow. Absolutely. It's fallen and then gets redder and hotter again. Absolutely. Because you keep pulling this out or pushing this out and pushing this out. You tell you what, you put her in a salt bath. It'll help her immensely. Make a nice bath. Not too warm. Not too cool. Just base skin temperature, make it salty. Use Himalayan salt or Celtic salt or something like that. And let her bathe in it frequently. Or if you're near the ocean, just have her go swimming in the ocean. Get some salt on this, and it'll help with the symptom of it. That's all I can say. It'll help back it down. It's alkaline bath, and this is an acidic condition. So whenever you have an acid condition, you jump to the base side. If you have a base condition, you jump to the acid side. Just that. That's all you can do, because there's only two sides. How simple. We apply cold compresses every day, make it a salt bath. Her iris shows blue eyes, a lot of brown, orange, and bowel. Okay. No, good thing you got on the GI broom. Well, she's full of fungus then for sure. That's sulfur, of course, in her bowels, and the brown is chronic bowel. So she has blue eyes, and she has chronic bowels. And that could be feeding her skin. So keep going after that GI tract. You're right on with that thinking, Mom. Good thinking. The kidneys are good thinking. Everything's good thinking here. But get that brown and that orange out of her eyes. And she should see that orange in her stools. She's going to want to get that out of her, because she'll have gassy, bloaty problems all her life with that. High candida problems all her life. Fighting weight and stuff because she can't control her diet because of the fungus problems. That sort of thing. It shows brain and in lymphatic rosary. Ooh, you mean lymphatic rosary? You mean lymph node rosary? That's not good. That might be a little problem here, why she's having that. So at one time, I know she's only 13, at one time you might want to do lymph node 5. And run it only for about a month on lymph node 5. That's a real lymph node opener. But that shows that her lymph nodes are blocked up, so she has a hard time moving lymph, because they can't get through the lymph nodes. So this is part of what she's having so much trouble with here, obviously. She has had the rosary all around the iris without exception since birth, like white beads. Well, that means all her lymph nodes are compromised. So you just keep working on them, Mom. Keep hydrating, keep working on them, because her little lymph nodes got to come clean. That's the best thing you can do for your daughter in her future, is to clean her body right now. You couldn't give your daughter a better gift except for birth than this, is what you're doing. Because you're going to take her from Hellville to Wellville. And you really need to, because everything you're telling me here needs to be fixed. She has had, Ocean filters a little now. We are all working hard on our filtration. Good. My daughter is breaking down with despair at having to deal with her skin every day. She does not think she can go on at times. Have your daughter listen to this, would you, Mom? Because, daughter, Ocean, you need to get into some ocean water, salt water, and it'll help the redness. It'll help with the discomfort, because it'll help to cool from a different perspective. It'll help to cool or neutralize acids, so it's cooling that down a little bit, but in the appropriate chemistry way. So that's important. This will go. Your mother's working on the right places, right on. It takes a little while to clean this level. When you have it head to toe, it takes a little while for your body to clean this out. It could take 6 months to a year. But the rest of your life will be good. Promise. The rest of your life will be good if you just let your body go through this and you be done with it. And this is the sick thing about the young ones like this. They have to go through these sort of things, so it affects their emotional states and their ability to work with others, or to have friends and things like this. And it's just a sad thing when they don't need to. We can fix these things early on. So it's a good thing we're all becoming aware of these things now on this planet. So the future moms will go, oh, I know what that is. I can fix it. Because there's no way a medical doctor can fix this problem, ever, anyone, anywhere, unless they know how to detox at this level. No offense, it's just not their field, but they can't do that. And you don't want to put steroids. That'd be the one thing to bring your daughter way down. Not good. Let me see. Number 1, slow down her cleanse by backing off the diet a little. You could, but I think your saltwater baths will do better for that with her, where you can keep going with that. But if you have to, take a break a little bit once in a while. The skin will clear a little bit when you do that. But then once you get going, and it might be better once in a while to give her a little break and from that. You could do that. But would that make the skin worse instead? Is it obviously eliminating? As a rule, we see it clean a little better, because when you're pushing the chemistry, your body's pushing all this out. So you're going to keep seeing it until the body pulls it back. Well, if you want to stop a symptom, eat bad again. Just eat foods that have no nutrition and no energy in it, and your body will quit fixing itself. I mean, proof is right there. Proof is right in our face, so it's another way to confirm that this is true and working. So, stop maybe for a little while if you want, and then hit it again. Skin's could come back, maybe not as bad. So I don't know. If your daughter can handle it, I'd keep pumping for a while and then back off and give her a break and see where you are with that, because she will get a break from this. Make sure those kidneys are filtering. Number 2, ask her to fast and only fruits for a while. Well, if you could get her to do fruits, berries, and melons for a week at a time and then add a salad, okay. Or through the week, school week, you get her on fruits, berries, and melons a little bit. All the way on that, and then give her a salad on the weekends or something. You could do that. But I think you're going to have better luck if you get her up higher on the detox list, to be honest with you. If it gets too overwhelming, stop and back down. Start eating cooked vegetables and back down and let everything go back for a while. And then hit her again. Get her going again, because you don't want to stop until this is all gone. Her skin is nice and pretty, and her kidneys are filtering. There's no other problems here. Her blood pressure is appropriate, 120/60, or somewhere close to that. It's not in the dumpers, that sort of thing, because all this is a big deal. Yeah. Number 3, keep it going the same way and have patience. That would be my take, but the daughter has to be the one to ride with this, and I do feel for her. I do know what she's up against. We have had many, and let me say many cases like this. We've had thousands of cases like this through the years, all over the place. Matter of fact, as I read these YouTube questions, notice that well over half of them were about eczema or psoriasis. And is that much problem out there. But remember what your skin is to you. Not just your outer coating of protection, but it is an eliminative organ. And you can also insert chemistry. It's a sponge. So there's the negative side of that too, because we can pull in atmospheric chemistry and things like that. The problem is that I see her increasingly stagnating into sadness and isolation. Give her a break then. Give her a break. Give her a break and get her into these saltwater baths. If the saltwater baths are good enough, because it is in psoriasis, if the saltwater baths are good enough for her, you might be able to continue with her looking better. And because she can't have long to go. She can't have long to go if you've been working with her this much. She does not go out with her friends and does not do the stuff she enjoys. Well, I understand why. I do. But we got to get her done. And if you can just hang in there and get this done, you'll be done the rest of your life, sweetheart. You'll be done the rest of your life. I am giving her herbs for the parathyroid into the mix. Boy, I would. Even to the point where I think I would do the parathyroid glandular for at least 1 bottle. And that would be, you could do 1 and 1 or 1 3 times a day, and then hitchhike that with maybe a superfood blend or something with a higher level of calcium. It might help her with that. Let me see here. Since she has had the eczema a long time and it's taking its toll, and I would like to see some changes happening, are you able to give me some advice from all the experience you have had with skin patients? Absolutely, just what we've been talking about. The herbs and the diet. Well, that's the number 1. But there's a lot of tools like these saltwater baths. I don't know if you do a cold sheet treatment on her. That would be a big deal. Richard Schultz has a cold sheet treatment, and you could augment that a little bit. Basically what it is, you put a sheet up in the freezer, and at the same time you put your daughter in a very hot bath. He recommends, I think, mustard and maybe cayenne pepper and stuff. You have to kind of protect some private areas when you do that, but you could just get a real hot bath. Let's see. I'm trying to think what we could get to pull in that bath, to help her with that. But we have that all written down on a protocol here, and it should be in one of our books. But if you call in and ask for a copy of the cold sheet treatment. So then after a certain point, you got to be real careful because you get it real hot. And real hot can make someone feel lightheaded. It's neurologically draining. But if you get her real hot and then pull her out of the bath and wrap that cold sheet around her and put her to bed, that'll literally pull this stuff out of her skin. So that's another way you can do that. There are herbal body wraps out there. We used to have a massage therapist do them in town. You can look for that. Herbal body wraps that you can put around that'll pull this. That's like the foot baths, but this is herbal body wraps will also pull this lymph out. So you can look for that around. You might find that somewhere. But you've got to keep going at some point. If you go back and forth, okay, just to give your daughter a break today. But I think if you use the salt ideas and stuff, you'll do well, and it'll help her a lot with the symptom of that. She plays guitar. Ocean, do you play a 12-string guitar? Did you notice... Irwin, the guy that is on American Idol, Steve Irwin, is that what his name is? Or the guy that, the rock and roll singer. Anyway, he was out, he did a song on The Voice the other night, and he had the double neck guitar, the 12s. No, he didn't have a 12 on the bottom. It was a banjo on the bottom. That was good. That was really good. I like that. He had a regular 6-string and a banjo. Me, I'm a 12-stringer. I love 12-string guitars. I just love. When the Birds came out and the Ventures years ago, I had to get me a 12-string. So I started out with a Mosrite, 12-string Mosrite. I had a Vox 12-string, believe this or not. But my first guitar was a Gretsch, a Les Paul. It was almost... lime colored, and I loved that. Well, that was my first was a acoustic. I'm an country boy, so we were coming around the mountain stuff. You know, the Bill Monroe people up there, right next to us, at Bill Monroe and all those bluegrass boys. So I grew up on bluegrass music, and then of course I'm a rock and roller, baby. Well, I was growing up. Oh, good. She plans a guitar and plans to join a band. That'll be fun. There's nothing more fun. You'll get your skin taken care of. You don't have to worry about that. You're in a process of getting it taken care of, so you can't get sad, Ocean, with the process. You're with the process. This isn't a treatment-based process because you'll never get it. You'll hurt yourself bad if you try to treat this with steroids. No way can you do this one. She is a lovely girl and an asset to planet Earth, and I love her dearly. Well, she's probably a blessed higher soul, too. If you can find the time to reply to us, you betcha. Beatrice, UK. And if you need more help and you can't seem to get her hooked to a counselor here, they'll take her on a deeper journey. Well, we've done quite a bit, guys. We covered quite a bit. Of course, we got quite a bit more. He just took this whole stack off. This whole stack. And hang in there. But always know, no matter what you're suffering with, 99.999%, which is almost 100%, it's acidosis. It involves the kidneys and adrenals and your lymphatic system. We all have to get knowledgeable about the lymphatic system because on this planet, there's not much information. We're bringing you information that's not on this planet. So it is now, thanks to you guys. And this will really help this planet to get another level of healing that it so desperately is crying out for. Let me tell you, the cries are heard and being answered. We love you guys. Take care of yourselves. And may the blessings be to each and every one of you. And always get yourself happy. Get your joy back, your happiness back. And remember, you're the driver of your own car. You want some change in your life? You make the change. No one else around you. You make the change. Whatever you want to experience, it's up to you. You're the creator. And with that, I love you all, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you dearly.